I've always been a runner. My dad ran in college and now coaches my high school cross country and track team. My mom was on a 2-time state champion team in high school, and I joined my school running club in 3rd grade. So it is fair to say that running has always been a big part of my life. But when I graduated high school, I quickly fell out of the habit. Looking back now, I think it was because I was too naive or young to really understand the immense value that running added to my life, but I will get into that in a minute. I would have spurts where I would run for a few weeks, but I never fully redeveloped that running habit ever again. However, a year ago, I decided once and for all, I wanted to get back into running. I don't think there was a specific reason for it other than this undefined guilt sort of hanging over me. I bought a pair of new shoes, downloaded Nike Run Club, and decided I would train for a marathon, something I had literally never done before or even come close to doing. I went all in, stuck with my plan, hit all of my distances and miles, but within about 6 weeks, I had completely stopped cold turkey. I remember I took a weekend off for my birthday for whatever reason, and I just never started back up the following week. Fast forward to about 16-ish weeks ago, and with half a year of regret and guilt hanging over me, I finally said fuck it and actually signed up for my first marathon, something I didn't actually do the first time around. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 5 lessons I learned from finishing my first half marathon. Yes, I know I said I signed up for a full marathon. I will explain. Lesson 1, commitment. When tackling a massive goal, I think accountability is huge. Whether that is from friends, family, peers, whatever. For me, the accountability came from actually signing up for a race. When I started my training plan where I gave up after 6 weeks, I didn't have a date circled on my calendar. I was just following a pre-made plan with no end goal. Indefinite goals create indefinite timelines. It is a lot harder to remain committed when there is nothing really at risk. I knew I would not allow myself to be embarrassed by backing out of the race or not being able to finish just because I didn't train enough. Committing to a specific date or outcome creates a strong sort of responsibility to actually do the thing. Lesson 2, it is easier than you think. I might get some heat for this, but the fear you have that is stopping you from trying something difficult is probably exaggerated. Hear me out. Running 13.1 miles is not physically easy. It does take time to build up your strength and endurance. You will be sore for the few days afterwards or more. It does require a time commitment that is more than most physical endeavors. However, you can do it. There were people that finished in this race that were more than 3 times my age. I'm 25, so I will let you do the math there. I'm not saying that everything that we think is hard is actually easy, because it's not. But it is probably easier than we want to admit. And that made up fear is just an excuse we create to avoid having to do something uncomfortable. Lesson 3, you are not a god. You probably noticed that I said I signed up for a marathon, yet this video is titled 5 Lessons I Learned from Finishing My First Half Marathon. Well, that brings us to lesson 3, don't overdo it. When I signed up for a marathon and started training, I felt really good, like too good. So good that I ignored my training plan and ran further and faster than I was supposed to. My mile paces went from being 9:17 for my long runs to around 8 minutes, and my speed workouts were a whole nother story. Needless to say, I injured myself. Because of this, I had to take off 5 weeks in the middle of my 16-week training block. And if any of you are endurance athletes out there, you know that injuries are the number one thing to avoid when training for a high mileage race. So I took the time off, had a decent recovery, and switched to half to avoid further injuries and permanent damage. It can be easy to be overly motivated when starting something new. You read a David Goggins book and suddenly think you can run a 50-mile ultra next month. Newsflash, you can. What we often fail to realize is the years of work put in prior. This goes for fitness, but also business and life and everything else. It sucks being the slow runner, but everyone was that person at some point. It is only after being the newbie that you can really start to grow into the person that you want to be. Lesson 4, intentionally influence your behavior. Everyone knows the idea you are the average of the people you spend the most time with, but I think it goes beyond that. When I started being more intentional with what I consumed online on a daily basis, my behaviors and opinions around running as a whole changed. I started watching people like Nick Bare with his ultra race documentaries and was actually inspired to start running again because I stumbled upon a Cody Trains video after being a fan of Cody Co for like years, like since high school. It is really hard to consume content like that of people doing crazy shit and begin to identify and relate to people like that and not follow the same or similar habits. Like, I'm not gonna go watch a Nick Bare video where he runs 108 miles on a fucking 4-mile loop and then somehow find an excuse to not do my little 30-minute run workout afterwards. Not that you should guilt trip yourself into habits, but you should use media and content as a tool to shape positive behaviors rather than negative ones. Lesson 5, it's fucking awesome. I could honestly go on for like an hour about all the benefits and all the things that I have gotten out of running over the last, 6 months plus, or getting back into running over the last 6 months and plus. But just as a whole, it's crazy what this activity can do for you. Not only will you obviously feel better and look better and just be generally more healthy and just feel good, the mental clarity and the discipline and just the overall like mental edge that you acquire and develop by doing something like this is something that I've not gotten from anything in my life. I've tried things like meditation, and I'm really big into philosophy, and obviously you guys know personal growth and self-improvement as a whole, and I can say wholeheartedly and with 100% confidence that running has completely affected my life positively beyond all of those things combined. There's just something about going out on a Sunday for an hour and a half run with no headphones in, and it's just you in the pavement and you're just running essentially alone. There's just nothing like that when it comes to just mental clarity and the things that you prove to yourself. I think whether or not we realize it as runners, the confidence that comes from running and doing races and training with things like this is something that just can't be matched by anything else. I think that people who see other people who love running assume that runners just love every minute of it, and where there are definitely moments where it's amazing when you finish a race or you have a great workout or you get this runner's high. A lot of it does suck, but it's the part of it that sucks that makes everything worth it. It's the shit that you go through in the long boring runs and the hard speed workouts that really make the moments that much more worth it and really elevate and exponentially increase the benefits that you get from it. This video isn't meant to be a promo video to motivate you to get into running. I do advise that you do it, or at least explore it for yourself, but more so, this video is a big lesson in a promo video for you to do things that make you uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, all of these lessons that I just shared are due to discomfort. They're due to me putting myself in a situation I otherwise would not be in, or I'm not used to being in, and because of that, I was uncomfortable and I worked through it and I grew through it. And so if you take anything away from this video, it is to seek out discomfort, is to find things that make you uncomfortable and push through them and learn from them in the same way that I've learned from running this half marathon. That is all for this week's video. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe down below. The only thing I do have left is a small, I guess big announcement. The pre-sale for my video creator course is now open. Inside of this course, I teach everything about ideation to scripting to filming to editing, basically how I do what you're seeing right now. So from step 0 to step 100 to creating high quality professional looking videos. So if you ever wanted to know how I make my videos and how you can learn to do it yourself, this is your opportunity. If you want to learn more about the course or enroll during the pre-sale period, because it is 50% off and it will never be this cheap again, you can use the link down below to learn more. I'll see you guys next week.